Hey everyone, Gabriel here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how I took a brand new Shopify store to over 5K a day in ad spend within just about 10 days, and this was all done with Facebook ads and lookalike audiences. So I'll be taking you through the exact process that I used to build these campaigns and scale it to 5K a day, as well as mistakes to avoid and tips for increasing your performance. So first off, I want to show you guys some numbers. I'm not going to be going into the strategy right away, but I just want to show you guys the numbers so you can see how quickly it's scaled and what kind of results you can expect with this strategy. So July 20th, this was before we even started, so as you can see, $0 spent. And then if I go to July 21st, this was the first day of ad spend on Facebook. So you can see $200 spent, $300 spent, and the return on ad spend was quite underwhelming, 0.5. So we were actually losing money at this point, but that's pretty normal when you're just starting out and testing products. So the 22nd, 1.45, as you can see, the amount spent increased as well. So it started doing a little better, still not great. For this particular store, we determined that including the cost of the products, the payment processor fees, as well as other fees like support team and everything, we determined that we wanted our return on ad spend at 1.5 at least. That's for break even. And 2.0 is what our goal was, because at a return on ad spend of 2.0, we'd be making 20% profit on the total sales. So 2.0 is what we were aiming for. So let's keep going, see what happened. July 23rd. So you can see ad spend increased again, 1.5K spent, 2.6K in sales. Let's take a look, July 24th. So again, another big jump in ad spend, 3.4K spent, 5.5K in sales. Return on ad spend did take a pretty big hit just because of how suddenly we increased the budget, but that's normal. July 25th, as you can see, return on ad spend is recovering a bit, 1.74. July 26th, so this was the first day where we actually did above 5K in ad spend, and the return on ad spend is almost 2.0, so 1.96. So this is when we started becoming very profitable, right? So we made about 20% profit on this 10.6K in sales that day. And then the 27th, again, 5K in ad spend, 1.88. So it took a little bit of a hit, but still profitable, still doing great. And then the 28th, again, 6.2K. So we went way past 5K a day in ad spend actually, but 5K a day was just a number that I picked. Return on ad spend 1.96. As you can see, it's being very profitable. And then the 29th, again, 5.5K a day in ad spend, 2.35 in return on ad spend. So this was a very profitable campaign, and it didn't end there. I'm just going to stop it at that. But it kept going. I'm actually still running ads on this store. Let me just show you the lifetime. There you go. So you can see $187,000 spent, $366,000 in profit. So about 20% of this, maybe a little bit less, because 20% is at 2.0 return on ad spend. So maybe like 18-20% profit on this $367,000 since July 20th. So this store has been super profitable, and almost all of it was done with Facebook ads. So without further ado, let's get right into the strategy that I used. Alright, so before we can get started, there are a few requirements that you need to be able to pull off a campaign like this. So first off, you need a proven product that's getting a lot of sales. So you don't want to start scaling a product that you're just testing, right? When you're scaling, you need to be sure that the product is profitable. You've already started getting sales on it. You know that there's a lot of interest for the product. It's not every product can be scaled, right? So this is very important. If you try to scale the wrong product, you will not get good results, and you'll just waste a lot of money. So you need a proven product that's getting sales. If you need help on how to find good proven products, I actually have another video on my channel about that, so I suggest you check it out. Another requirement is that you need a good video ad. So video ads are king right now. I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but it's true. Video ads outperform all other form of ads right now by quite a large margin. And there's a specific type of video ad that works well. So I'm actually going to show you guys an example. This is from the Facebook shows. So these Facebook shows they're drop shipping all kinds of product, and they're making an absolute killing because they're using video content. And as you can see, 2.1 million views. It's an egg peeler, and I'm going to show you the video just so you guys can see the type of video that works well, right? So you want to have an engaging video like this with subtitles, text on screen, so that people don't have to turn on the sound to know what the video is about. And yeah, you want a bunch of social proof in the video, people using your product like this. This is great. Yeah, so you guys get the idea. This is from Blue Crate, I believe. Yeah, Blue Crate. So you can just check out these show pages, right? Like I Want One by Howlers, and then you can see all their episodes. Each one of these episodes are dropshipping products. And they're making absolute killing because they're making their own videos, their own high quality videos that are going viral on Facebook. So let's take a look at this. They're all using the exact same style, right? It's just people demoing the product and then text explaining what it does. And this is the exact format that works really well for video ads. So yeah, take a look at their page for inspiration. Don't just steal the ad, make your own ads. I personally send my products to people on Fiverr, and I get them to record clips using it, and then I edit my own ads. So yeah, this is very important. You need a good video ad that's engaging, or else you won't be able to scale it. Another thing is you want to have the pixel already installed on your store. I'm not going to be covering how to do this. This is pretty basic. You should know how to do this, and if you don't, take a look at one of the millions of video tutorials online how to do so. It's super easy. But yeah, you want to make sure that you have your pixel installed on your site, because as I mentioned before, this strategy is all about using lookalike audiences to scale, and you need to have a pixel installed so you can create custom audiences and create lookalike audiences. Alright, so once you got all the requirements down, you got a good video ad and the pixels installed on your site, what you want to do is you want to create the post in your ads manager and use that same post ID for all your ads. So this is very important. A lot of people just create new versions of their ad for each ad set, and what this does is it'll spread out the engagement across all the different versions of your ad. So what you want to do is just use one post ID and use that post ID for all your ads so that all the engagement gets added to that one ad. So how you want to do this is you just go to your page, your business manager, and then page posts, and then you create the post here. You select video, you add your text in your video, and then once you create the post, it'll give you a post ID. And every time you create a new ad, you just select use existing post and you enter that post ID. And so yeah, this is really important so that your ads have a lot of social proof and a lot of engagement, which will help a lot with your click-through rate and your conversions. Okay, so now that you got the video post set up, the next step is warming up your pixel so that you can build lookalike audiences. This whole strategy is built around lookalike audiences, so you need to have some data on your pixel before you can create custom audiences to build lookalike audiences from. So basically, you need to get some traffic on your site to get started. So there's two ways that I like to do this. Number one is promoting your product with Instagram influencers. This usually works really well. Instagram influencers get a lot of traffic for really cheap compared to Facebook ads. So this is a really great way to start warming up your pixel and start getting sales on your website. Another way is to run a pay-per-engagement campaign to worldwide, excluding the big 4 countries, the US, UK, Australia, and Canada, to get super cheap video views. And then you can build a 95% video viewers custom audience and build your first lookalike audience from that, which usually works really well. So those are the two ways that I like to start warming up my pixel. And you need to do this because the rest of the strategy uses lookalike audiences, and lookalike audiences won't work well unless you have a warm pixel, which means a pixel with a lot of actions taken on it, a lot of sales, a lot of visitors, and whatnot. Okay, so once you've got a warm pixel, that's when you can really start testing a lot of different audiences and start scaling your ad spend. So essentially what you want to do is create as many different lookalike audiences as possible to test, and then start those off at a $50 budget and test really as many different lookalike audiences as you can. So what I like doing is having a separate campaign for each of the main 4 countries for dropshipping, which are the US, the UK, Australia, and Canada. And then for each of those campaigns, I will test all the different lookalike audiences I can. So these are the ones that I usually like to start with. 95% video viewers, buyers in the last 30 days, add to cart in the last 30 days, initiate checkout in the last 30 days, website visitors in the last 30 days, and then the top visitors by time spent, the top 25% visitors by time spent in the last 30 days. And so I will build custom audiences for all these audiences and then test the different levels. So for the United States, I make a 1% audience, a 1 to 2% audience, and a 2 to 5% audience. And then for the other 3 countries, I do a 2% audience, a 2 to 5% audience, and a 5 to 10% audience because they have a smaller population. So I'll build 3 audiences for each of these custom audiences, and then 1 for each of the countries. So really, you want to create as many ad sets as possible so that you have more and more, you're more likely to have winning ad sets, right? So that's what I do. I test as many as possible, and I start them off at a $50 budget. $50 because if you use a budget that's too small, say like $5 ad sets, a lot of people recommend $5 ad sets. I don't personally like them because sometimes you're able to get really good results with $5 ad sets, but if you try to increase the budget to $50, it'll be a completely different result because at $5, Facebook just isn't able to optimize your budget spending, right? So once you start it off at $50, you actually get a much clearer picture of how the ad set will perform if you try to scale it. At this point, you want to start identifying your top performing ad sets and focus on scaling those, and that's really where the bulk of your budget increase is going to come from. So how I like to do this is I like to take the top performing ad sets and then duplicate them into a manual bidding ad set with a much higher budget. So usually I start off at $200 instead of the from $50 from the original ad set. So what manual bidding does is it puts a bid cap on how much you're willing to bid for a conversion, and this helps Facebook maintain a steady cost per conversion while increasing the budget on your ad set. So here's how you would go about this. So this is just an example ad set, and say this ad set's performing really well and you're getting a cost per conversion of a cost per purchase of $15, for example. What you would want to do is take the ad set, duplicate it into the original campaign, duplicate it, and then I would change the name. I would write MB right here for manual bidding. That's not important, but it's just so you can keep track. And then increase the budget to $200, and then set a bid cap right here. So if your cost per conversion was $15, usually I find that the best bid cap is 2 to 3 times your cost per conversion. So if we're doing $15, you'd want to do $15 times 2 or times 3. So let's say $35 per purchase, and this would be a good place to start and see how that performs. You're gonna have to test yourself to see which bid caps work well for your ad sets, but setting a bid cap really helps increasing the budget for your top performing ad sets rather than just straight up increasing the budget like you would regularly, right? So this is really useful to know. You definitely want to take advantage of manual bidding because it really helps you scale your top performing ad sets without losing the performance. Afterwards, you're going to want to keep an eye on these manual bidding ad sets to see how they're performing. So usually I let it run for 48 hours to make sure that you get enough data to see how it's performing. And if it's still working well at that point, you can keep increasing the budget 50% every 48 hours. That's usually what I like to do. So say it's doing well at $200 for 48 hours straight, then you can increase the budget to $300 and then wait another 48 hours and see if it's still performing well. And then again, another 50% increase to $450 and so on. And you can keep increasing these budgets and you'll have these ad sets with massive budgets that are performing really well and having a steady cost per conversion. If it doesn't work well, same thing. If it's below your break-even return on ad spend, you just kill the ad set. Okay, so last but not least, you're going to want to make sure that you have a good retargeting campaign going while you're running these ads. Retargeting is where you're going to get the easiest conversions, and that's where the bulk of your profits are going to come in. So this is really important. So there's a lot of videos out there on how to set up a good retargeting campaign, but basically you want to retarget people from those custom audiences. So initiate checkout in the last 7 days, add to cart in the last 7 days, initiate checkout in the last 30 days, add to cart in the last 30 days, all your website visitors in the last 30 days, and even 95% video viewers and 75% video viewers. These are all audiences that you want to retarget, and this is where you're going to get the cheapest cost per conversion and the bulk of your profits. So you want to make sure that you have a good retargeting campaign set up before you do any of this. So that is pretty much it, guys. That is the general idea for this Facebook ads strategy. I use this to scale multiple stores to multiple thousands of dollars a day in ad spend, and it usually works really well as long as you've got the requirements, a good product that's getting a lot of sales, a good video ad, and a warm pixel. So that's pretty much the idea. I hope this helped you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see next, and yeah,